Hello, welcome to the Boss House. I'm Bo, and this is basically a diary of how I am adjusting to all of life's curveballs, reining in the chaos, and trying to handle finances, being part of a blended family that does not have joint bank accounts. I am not a financial professional. However, I am good at adjusting my budget on the fly. So, this is actually part 2 of my week 1 check in on my first paycheck budget of January. This part is going to be checking in on my cash categories. The last one, posted yesterday, was my bank transactions, but this is my savings category check-in. So I wanted to split it up just so the videos wouldn't be so long, and also because I had previously tried to record, but I accidentally muted myself for the entire video. So I had to try this again, and I'm trying not to overload myself. Okay, so let's get started. If you don't recall, or if you didn't watch the last video, I pointed out that the first bank transaction for me was actually cash stuffing $479.28. So that I just count as far as a bank transaction as just how much cash I stuffed. Just so that I know how close, I can see how close I'm getting to the total budgeted amount. That's not actually how much I took out of the bank or anything. I'm just dealing with the budgeted amount as a whole and what part of it the cash stuffing was. Because I don't want to spend more than I've budgeted for until I actually have that additional income. So, out of that 479.28, right? This is how this was planned to break down. But if you look at my actual tracker, this is my expense tracker. This is just basically tracking what money is not in the cash categories. So this is the unstuffed cash. This is the cash that is not in an envelope yet. And, which envelope it goes to or which envelope it comes out of. So I started with $749 in there. I really only had that much in unstuffed cash because I had unstuffed envelopes and put in placeholders. So I started with $749, and then I also had change, but I had not counted it. I'm going to count it in this video. So out of that $749, again, if you didn't watch the last video, this is a little quick overview. $200 went to groceries, $60 went to medication, $20 went to home supply, $20 went to impulse buys, $40 went to car maintenance, $20 went to birthdays, $20 went to clothing, $35 went to subscriptions, $25.28 went to my penny challenge, which is saving one more penny a day than you did the day before. So you save the day number of the day number of the year, but the way I do it, because I really don't want to confuse my budget by budgeting or stuffing less than what I can immediately when I get my paycheck. So I only do this every 2 weeks, and for stability's sake, I'm going from the bottom and the top of the penny challenge and meeting in the middle, budgeting bi-weekly. So that came out to $25.28 for the penny challenge. And then $39 for the $1,000 challenge, because I was doing a $1,000 challenge to add $1,000 to my emergency fund. And then because there was change and I hadn't counted my change yet, I just put in 28 cents of change so that I could get to the $25.28 really, and leave this a nice round number, because I don't really like dealing with change if I don't have to. So this is basically how this went, right? And then what I did is, let's update what's going on with these longer transactions, these savings transactions. Again, if you didn't watch my last video, we have 3 categories really: work, play, grow. So work is the things that keeps my life going the way it's supposed to. Play is the extra stuff that's fun but not really necessary every month. And grow is the things that lend to my financial stability. So things that I can't cash flow but leave me with more money than I have previously. So longer term savings, like a year or longer, I count as grow, and I count those as savings instead of counting those as spent in a category, until I actually move the money out of the yearly savings into my bank account to spend, or into the appropriate envelope to spend, and then I count it as spent. So with these longer term savings, there is some adjustment to be made. So this $35 to subscriptions, I actually transferred this money to my savings bucket in my bank account. So I need to change this money out. Oh, do I have my envelope? How? I just banged my head. Okay. So this $35, I actually transferred to the bank account, so I don't want to keep the cash in the envelope anymore. And then I am going to add my change here to the penny challenge, because I don't want to just keep all this loose change unaccounted for. So it's actually, I already saved what I was going to for the 2 weeks, but I'm going to add the change as well, because I want to get this challenge taken care of as quick as possible. And I think, do I also have this, the 1K challenge? I think I have that in cash too. I haven't transferred that yet because I forgot. So I'm not going to change that out, but I'm going to take care of the other 2. Okay. So for subscriptions, oh, and my emergency fund, I got to take care of that too, because I spent some of that. So, I have my little handy dandy placeholders, which are just Monopoly money from a Monopoly set that I got in when I was 16. It's actually a really nice Monopoly set, and I love it to pieces. So I decided I would use that money as placeholders, because I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on this budgeting stuff. Because the whole point of budgeting is to have more money next month than I did last month. So using my Monopoly money is an investment in my impulsivity. Let's call it that. Okay. So let's start with the penny challenge, which means I need to count this change. I actually counted it in the last video and wrote down how much it was. But again, I muted myself, so we're just gonna count it again on camera and pretend like it's the first time. I guess it's the first time for you, and there wasn't really much point in me saying that, but bear with me, please. I appreciate you. Okay. So I'm actually not going to add this to the canister that I have for change, because I realized after the last video that is extremely loud and really unfortunate. So I'm going to add it to this little pouch and put it in the canister after the fact. All right, so let's get counting. 25, 50, 75, $1. 25, 50, $75. I'm gonna be really mad at myself if I ended up miscounting this and it's a different amount than what I wrote down on the penny challenge tracker. But you know, you live and you learn, right? Just like you learn to check the mute button. Always check the mute button. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $8. And is that all I have for quarters? I think it is. Okay. So let's start with the dimes. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 90. $1. So that's 9. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So that's $10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 $. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, $11. $10, 50, losing quarters. 5, 10, 15, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, $11.45 going to my penny challenge. And again, I will save you the pain of listening to the change of the canister. Okay, so that is 11:45. So today is January 12th. 1 penny challenge. Savings. And 11:45. which really I should have put this first. Should have put the count first, but such is my life. Okay. Such is life. Okay, so that is, let's do the math. So that is 270 minus 1145 equals 258. But really, it's 270. I should have done it the opposite way, but such is life. You live and you learn. I will probably forget this many times and do this backwards again, but we're just gonna deal with it. We're gonna deal with it. Okay, so next comes adjusting my emergency fund. So this is my my longer term binder, which is my my annual and long-term goals. So I adjusted the penny challenge, but it's changed, so that is what it is. And then, actually, before I do emergency fund, I'll do subscriptions. So this already has placeholders in it, but it also has cash. And this cash is going to go towards next week's cash stuffing. So we're going to set that aside. And we're going to replace it with Monopoly money. So 20, 30, 5. So that it reflects how much I have in the bank. So now that I've added that $35, which is what I had deposited in my subscriptions, right? And I transferred it. So that is 100, 200, 20, 40, 50, 65, 70. So 270. Is in the bank in my subscriptions savings bucket. And then it's time to adjust my emergency fund, as sad as that is. So, oh, dang it, I didn't realize I was kind of off camera. My bad. Okay, so my emergency fund had $2,000 in it in the bank. So 500,000, 500, 2,000. It had that, but I took out 1192 because, again, I didn't want to deal with change since I have placeholders. I'm not gonna put change in this envelope. So gotta take out this and put in, well, really, I guess take it all out. No, took that out because it was 1192, and then place this 1,500 with 1, 2, 300, 5, 6, 7, 8 to simulate me removing 1192. Leaves me with $808 from 2000. So 500, 600, 700, 800, 805, 806, 807, 808 in my emergency fund currently. So I've already transferred that money to pay for the tickets and the tow. So that is me updating my banks based on what I'd spent and adding additional to my penny challenge because I want to reach this as soon as possible, so that I want to reach my $500 goal as soon as possible, so that I can as my emergency fund. And I don't feel like dealing with change with my emergency fund because, again, envelopes, I don't want to bulk this up with change. I think I don't like it. So I only want to do cash. So I'm always going to round up anything that's coming out of my emergency fund so that I can just deal with my placeholders and not have this be kind of a mess. So that is my cash categories all adjusted. And I'm going to, I put these upside down in here. I'm going to highlight this in green because this contributes to my financial stability. Annual challenges contribute to my financial stability because that means I have less to cash flow at the time. Because again, when it comes to something like getting tickets and tows, like I don't make enough money to cash flow that if I just use cash, and I don't have sinking funds. I don't make enough money. So anything that goes into longer term savings, like a year or longer, those kind of goals, they all contribute to my financial stability so that I don't have to add on more debt. Because debt is expensive. Being poor is expensive, and we're not trying to be poor. Living paycheck to paycheck is essentially that, when you owe more than you have in cash. But I'd like to not think in those terms. I'd rather think of me having stability by having some savings even while I have debt. Because if you wipe out your savings to pay your debt, then when something big comes along, like your car having to go in the shop for major repairs or you getting towed, like, you won't have that money, so you'll end up going into debt again. It's like a vicious cycle that I don't want to be a part of. So I'm not going to do that. And that's actually why I don't follow Dave Ramsey's advice, because I tried to a few years ago, and then I only had $1,000 in savings, and I get hit by a curveball, and I couldn't adjust for it because I didn't have the cash, because I'd wiped out all my savings to pay most of my debts, which is why I only have $22,000 in debt right now, which really is only partially mine. I really only have myself. I have the $9,000 in the Capital One, and then almost $5,000 in my student loan. So I have $14,000 in debt for myself, besides, my house that's in Minnesota. But if I had kept my money in my bank account, instead of paying down all those debts, I would have been able to cash flow more, and I would have been able to adjust to those emergency situations better. So that's what I'm doing from now on. And Dave Ramsey his programs work for some people. They do not work for me. It was far too restrictive for me, and on top of that, when life actually threw me a curveball, I couldn't handle it because I didn't have any savings. I didn't have any cushion in my account. So it didn't serve me at all. His program totally threw me off kilter. This works far better for me. So that's it. Now that I've rambled as usual. That's it for my cash categories. I hope you learned something new or took something away from this that made you a little better than you were yesterday. I hope you have a great day on purpose. You deserve it. I love you. You got this. Have a great day. Bye.